Giving up smoking is the single most important thing you can do to improve your health. Everyone has their own reasons for wanting to give up smoking, whether it's because of a desire to improve your own health, save money, or to break free from the harmful effects of tobacco. It's never too late to quit. You may be convinced that smoking eases stressful situations, but stress in your life may be closely linked to your brain's internal stress about when the next inhalation is due. Some people feel it helps their concentration, but once again, the brain finds it difficult to concentrate if it has become increasingly obsessed as to when the next fix is coming. Women in particular will use the excuse that it will help them to lose weight. Smoking does limit your appetite, but it is a myth that it helps to reduce weight. A study of 4,000 adolescents over 7 years found that those who smoked or began smoking did not lose weight during this period. In this programme, we hear the views of family GP and television personality Dr. Chris Steele, and we speak to electronic cigarette innovators Jack Vapor. Although electronic cigarettes cannot be legally classed as smoking cessation aids, there is widespread anecdotal evidence from users crediting the devices with having provided long-term success with smoking cessation.
For children who grow up in a smoking environment at home, maybe mum or mama or dad smoke, that child is breathing in second-hand smoke. And in fact, you can measure their carbon monoxide levels just by them blowing into a machine to show that their levels are higher than the children in non-smoking environments. Now, of course, those children, certainly we know, are more prone to asthma, to chest infections, to middle ear infections, possibly allergies as well. And again, the child is just breathing this in all the time. So. And also it's growing up in an environment where smoking is seen as the normal adult behaviour. So there's a strong likelihood that child might grow up to become a smoker themselves.
I started because of peer pressure sort of being put on me by different groups of people. Certainly at secondary school, there were quite a lot of my friends that started, so I thought I'd give it a try. Gave it a try and I actually liked it, so I thought, okay, I'll give it a go, and I gave it a go for quite some time, and I've actually given it up now, but it took me quite a long period of time. I have the occasional one. I have got a packet of cigarettes on me. I'm not smoking today though.
I started smoking out of peer pressure when I was a teenager because I thought it looked cool, I guess. It's the truth. I think that's most people's honest answer.
And why do you smoke now?
Because I am addicted. Yeah, and it's relaxing, and if you're stressed at work, and lots of reasons, it's the best thing ever. If it didn't kill you, it'd be the best thing ever.
And what do you?
So there's cancer. There are clogged arteries. You can have heart problems from it. Financial implications, of course. There are obviously, everyone's well aware of all the bad things related to it because it's plastered all over the cigarettes. So, infertility, a lot more than I can probably name. So yeah, I know there's a lot of bad things, but I still smoke out of ignorance because it won't happen to me.
Lung cancer for one, and also you can get sort of growths that grow on your actual lungs, which isn't obviously great, but I would say I don't think it's as bad as people think it is. I sort of think it is bad on one level, but on another level it's okay to do it. I don't do it anymore. I do carry a packet of cigarettes with me, but that's just because I sometimes just like to look at them.
Smoking in pregnancy really worries me, because a pregnant mum smoking, she's taking that smoke into her body, those chemicals into her bloodstream, circulating around her body, and circulating around the placenta, which is the blood supply to the baby. So the baby is being exposed to all those chemicals during development. Those are very powerful chemicals. And we do know that the babies of smoking mothers are more prone to prematurity, low birth weights, complications after birth. The baby is the ultimate passive smoker. It can't escape. If you're in a room with a smoker, you can go out. The baby in the womb cannot go out. The baby is trapped there whilst the mother is smoking. Now, the problem with smoking in pregnancy is, you know, a first-time mum might hear that if you smoke, your baby will be small. And I've had patients who might say, hey, that's great, that'll do me, doc. Oh, I'll continue smoking, I want a small baby. And what you have to do is to really twist it and say, look, it's not a small baby, it's an immature baby. A baby that might be born prematurely, that might have problems.
The next section of the programme is a sponsored editorial from electronic cigarette innovators Jack Vapor.
Jack Vapor were an electronic cigarette company formed by myself, a smoker, to meet the growing demand for electronic cigarettes in the UK. An electronic cigarette is a battery-powered device that mimics the look and feel of a real cigarette without many of the harmful side effects. An e-cigarette consists of two parts, the battery and a tank or cartridge that contains the nicotine solution. Within the cartridge, there's a heating element that when you fire the battery, it heats the element much like a kettle, which in turn vaporizes the e-liquid within the cartridge, which you then inhale. An e-cigarette contains nicotine, and when the nicotine is vaporized, it produces a throat hit that's very similar in effect to smoking a normal cigarette. That plus the e-cigarette produces vapor, which provides the visual stimulation that most people associate with a cigarette. At Jack Vapor, we offer nicotine in various strengths. Our pre-filled carts go from 24 milligram down to 0 milligram. The idea behind that is that you can reduce your nicotine intake over time, and it puts the customer in control of the amount of nicotine that they're taking in rather than the tobacco company. Smoking becomes part of somebody's personality, so it's a very personal thing, and many smokers feel they'll lose a part of their identity when they give up. It's also, in most cases, a strong part of their social life, to the point that many won't even consider giving up. For those sort of smokers, giving up isn't even an option, and they won't even consider it. In those sort of instances, cessation devices or products just don't work. And e-cigarettes offer something different. They offer an alternative to smoking, where you can continue your normal habits and the social aspects without much of the damage caused by smoking. An e-cigarette is about harm reduction. A real cigarette contains 600 ingredients that when lit go to 3,000 chemicals. 76 of those chemicals are known carcinogens. They include tar, carbon monoxide, strychnine, many other things that are damaging to your body. E-cigarettes contain three main ingredients, the most harmful of which is nicotine. And those three ingredients remain the same during the use of the device.
Jack Vapor, the company was built on two main principles. First one being quality, second one being trust. It was the same in 2010 and it stands true today. We always wanted to start with great quality products and offer customers a service where they could actually trust in us as a company. With quality, it means that we're always ahead of the game. We work hand in hand with our hand-picked suppliers to make sure that we have the best technology, the most advanced products on the market. A bit like in the olden days of mobile phones where technology moved very quickly. The e-cigarette you had this time last year wouldn't be the e-cigarette that you're using today. We're aware of that. We want to offer our customers the best that their money can buy. So when we work with the guys and our suppliers, we then get the products back, we test them personally. We wouldn't sell anything to our customers that didn't work for us. The staff at Jack Vapor are predominantly ex-smokers. We started as smokers, we use the products, we believe in them, which takes me to trust. Our customer service staff are the heart of our business. If we don't give our customers good customer service, then it's worth nothing. We want our customers to be happy. We make sure our staff are trained, they are meticulous, they know everything about our products, they know everything about technology. They also research competitor brands. We get a lot of questions about competitors. We make sure we know what's happening in the industry at all times, and our customer service staff can convey that to our customers, which in turn gives us loyal customers. You only have to check YouTube, our customer reviews, anything to see that we come top in anything when customers are actually feeding back on us, Jack Vapor, as a company.
I started smoking when I was 18 at university, and I got to 38 years old and found I was still smoking, which I hadn't expected. And I didn't want to go on smoking past 40, or I thought I would never give up. So a friend had been traveling in America, and he told me about e-cigarettes, and I'd never heard of them before. I tried a number of different companies on the market, and the one that worked for me best was Jack Vapor. And I thought I was going to have to use cigarettes and e-cigarettes at the same time. But I found that the e-cigarette, I was able to stop smoking right away. And it's very much like smoking to me. It almost feels like I've never stopped. The main reason for me to quit smoking was for my kids, so that they had a father who didn't smoke, who didn't smell of cigarettes, and they didn't have to worry about me catching smoking-related diseases. And Jack Vapor has really helped me with that.
I started smoking more than 40 years ago, at a time when it was still socially acceptable, and also it seemed to be the norm. Most people did smoke. How times have indeed changed. But it was only when my husband was diagnosed and died from lung cancer a few years ago that I knew I had to do something. Not just for my own health's sake, but for my daughters as well. I didn't want them to undergo the same traumatic experience and sadness of death due to smoking. So I tried my best to begin with. I tried going cold turkey, I tried hypnotism, I tried nicotine patches, nicotine gum, nothing but nothing worked. And then I heard about electronic cigarettes, which were advertised as being a healthier alternative smoking option. So I thought, well, why not? Nothing else has worked. And by this time, I was smoking well over 25 cigarettes a day. My health, I knew, had begun to suffer. I was becoming a bit wheezy, and I thought, no, this has to work. I was in the right frame of mind, I think. So I started to research online. It took me a long time, but I eventually decided that Jack Vapor was the one for me. I would try them. I loved their website. It was easy to use and very informative. And for somebody of my age, that is important. I also read the customer reviews, and excellent customer reviews with regard to the high quality of their products and also their very good customer service, which I knew I would need. I contacted them, and I was really, really happy that they took the time to personalise what they thought would help me cut down, with obviously an aid to stop smoking eventually. They started me off on their V1P starter kit, and I really couldn't believe that after only a couple of days, I did notice I wasn't smoking, nearly as many ordinary cigarettes a day. 1.5 years down the line, I'm now on to what they call their battery with tank combination. I love this. I love the feel of it, because again, if you're thinking about, the feel of a cigarette, it's just something to clutch onto. I also like the fact it doesn't look like a real cigarette. I really do hate those fake plasticky looking things. I like this. And it's also good because for me, you recharge the battery overnight, fill up with the e-liquid. Again, something I'm quite proud of myself about. I started off using 18 milligram strength, now down to 6 milligram strength, and they actually do sell 0 milligram. That's the next one down. That's what I'm aiming for. And this can last a whole day. My health certainly has improved. I know that. It saved me a fortune. My house doesn't smell, my clothes don't smell, and I really am very happy, and I'm very happy with Jack Vapor, because when I order anything from them, it's delivered within 2 days. And I can only thank them. I feel that this has really helped me cut down dramatically, and I wish them all the best.
No two customers are the same, people's usage is different. So for example, when somebody starts, first of all, becoming an e-cig, a very beginner, they actually really like the feel of what we call a cigalite, which is an electronic cigarette. The battery is the same size as a cigarette. They like to hold it in their fingers like a cigarette. As they progress, become a more seasoned vapor, they actually look for more power, more battery length. The larger size batteries actually give you that, so as you become less self-conscious, actually you might put down your smaller cigarette and hold your bigger one. You only have to charge it once overnight, and then lasts you the whole day. However, that's not to say the smaller cigarette size is actually fantastic, not just for beginners, but actually seasoned vapers also use them because they're easier to charge on the go. For example, our V1P kits are in a charging case. You charge your battery on the go while you're using one of them. You can then swap over, charge your case at night. With the larger size batteries, you would charge your Vigo at night and then use it all day. We also like to offer an awful lot of customization. So in the same way as a smoker, some might be a menthol smoker, some like light cigarettes. We know that about our customers. We have staged nicotine, so our highest is 24 milligram, our lowest is 0, which means you actually are using your e-cig as a prop just for your hand-to-mouth ritual, really, in which case you could probably put it down and never look at it again. But you start on 24, you can go down to 18, 11, 6, depending on your habit. I personally smoke 6 milligram and I smoke the menthol flavour. I used to be a menthol smoker. But typically, most of our e-cig beginners will come on to us and actually ask for tobacco flavour. Tobacco flavour is something you would think is something you want to keep on because it will remind you of your cigarette smoking times. But actually, the taste of tobacco isn't that great. So once you get yourself off your smoking habit, you actually start to get your sense of taste back, your sense of smell, and people start to diversify with flavours. They like to try cherry, watermelon, vanilla. We have 17 flavours. You can mix and match. You can match coffee with chocolate and have a mocha flavour. The limits are endless. We also do customization, so you can style up your e-cigarette, which is very handy. If you're in a bar, you might not want to use a white cigarette. It can cause a bit of confusion. We have black, we have silver, we have different tips, we have different bungs, we have different colours of cartomizers, we have different sizes of batteries. Anything that you want, you can get at Jack Vapor, depending on what your personal taste is. Everything is customizable. If we don't have it, talk to one of our customer service staff. We're always open to options. As the e-cigarette market grows and people become more aware of it, there are more products available. As mentioned before, we're all about quality, so whatever we offer will be, hopefully, the best, but also the choice will be the best. We know that we're one of the only companies that actually allow this full customization. We have about 600 products on our books, which is a lot.
If you've tried traditional means, or maybe not even considered giving up at all, Jack Vapor e-cigarettes really do offer an alternative to smoking.
By stopping smoking, you'll be protecting the health of your non-smoking friends and family. Passive smoking increases a non-smoker's risk of lung cancer, heart disease and stroke. Second-hand smoke makes children twice at risk of chest illnesses, including pneumonia, croup, swollen airways in the lungs and bronchitis, plus more ear infections, wheezing and asthma. They also have 3 times the risk of getting lung cancer in later life compared with children who live with non-smokers. Stop smoking medicines and nicotine replacement therapy products are available on prescription, and they can double your chance of successfully quitting. They do not contain toxic, cancer-causing chemicals that are in cigarettes. Call NHS Smoke Free on 0800 022 4332 for more information. I'm Georgina Burnett and you've been watching Tobacco Kills, Give It Up.